Well, I believe we're live now.
All right, we finally made it.
I
Hip hip
know.
hooray.
I know.
It only
Is
took
it-
3 days.
Yeah. Can't, although say it could have been more. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's all relative, right?
Now, let me ask you this: did you go out and look at the moon?
Oh, I walked my dogs under it.
Oh, so did you have like clear skies?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Uh,
Hey, JK.
how was it?
Beautiful.
Um,
It was
um,
actually a super moon, too.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're on Sunday. It was like Wednesday, Thursday, and it's usually about 3 days. So we're towards the waning part of it, but it was so intense. I'm sure parts of it will linger and affect us all.
Yeah, I think it hit me hard for the past 3 days.
Well, I was thinking about different things that could be happening for people, and I quit my part-time job at the brink of it. So a lot of it has to do with
Ending.
evaluating your environment and
Oh, beautiful.
making boundaries and decisions for energies you do or do not want to be part of. That recognizing that a lot of times the environment we're in is affecting our energy subconsciously. Pisces, full moon in Pisces. Pisces is all about the subconscious mind. And so, very ethereal. And so sometimes, we can't recognize um, how something may be subtly affecting our mood until we're away from it.
Mm.
So I like that we're doing our live after the um, pentacle of it, so we can all be kind of be figuring out, well, what did I just go through?
Yeah,
It
you
was
know
some
what?
kind of whirlwind, yeah.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad too because at the peak of it, I was like
Thresh,
chaotic.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't handle the energy. It was just too intense. I don't know. Um,
Well,
but
you're really busy too.
yeah, super busy, like more than human busy. So, yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and ring the meditation singing bowl to clear our space and energy, and then you can just like get right into it and listen
We'll we'll figure out something.
up. Okay, yes, because I want to know. I want to know what we went through.
Sounds
Seriously.
good.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so tell us about what happened on this full moon.
Yeah, so it was like August 30th, 31st in Pisces. Pisces is a mutable water sign that rules the 12th house in the natural zodiac chart. The 12th house is our anxiety closet. So it's where we stuff our fears and stuff things we don't want to deal with. So when you've got the huge super moon, full blue moon, which is the second moon of a given month, um, that brings a lot of light to anxieties and things that we just rather not think about or deal with. Um, it could be guilt, it could be regret, you know. So, um, the mythology of the blue moon deals with the feminine principle, transformation, new beginnings. And in like the 16th century, for someone to say, at the time the moon is blue, basically was saying whatever that thing is impossible because it's very rare. Now, it happens every 2 to 3 years. I don't personally consider that really rare, compared to, Pluto transits, but um, it does make for higher tides, stronger gravitational pull between the moon and the earth. So we've had two um, supermoons within a 31 day period. So the moon is our emotions, right? And so you could be experiencing emotions all over the place. Um, I think the most beneficial part of this energy is to connect that it represents the third eye chakra. So this is all about the psychic faculty. Maybe you're feeling more intuitive than normal. Maybe you have a healthy dose of self-doubt and haven't been giving yourself enough credit for being intuitive. And so this is an energy where the dream state is very active. You might dream in color. Um, there are all types of dream work to do. The one that was passed on to me that I've shared before, but for those who have not heard of it, I'll repeat it here. That is to exercise that part of the brain with the psychic ability, just like you would exercise your biceps. When you are going to sleep, let the last things on your mind be, I'm intentionally going to remember my dreams. And like in your mind's eye, picture a movie camera and you're going to record your dreams. And then in those few moments before you've really come back into your body or are awake, remember that camera and rewind it and start watching the movie forward, because as soon as you move and open your eyes, you're going to lose a lot of the impressions. And the idea is to somehow record, either by writing it down or recording it um, on your phone. How are you feeling? Were there any particular colors or numbers, people, just any fragments you can piece together? And the reason we all get frustrated about dream work and don't stick to it is it can take a couple of weeks for those fragments to start making sense. We tend to get frustrated because, we're not feeling like we're not getting the answers, and so it takes practicing that part of the brain, and just like any other muscle, to um, shape it and flex it and utilize it. So, the other mythology of Neptune, he is the god that resides at the bottom of the ocean and guards the gates behind all the secrets and mysteries of the universe. So he's very mysterious. He is the mystic. Um, for us to journey our subconscious mind, we have to be willing to swim through really murky waters, and that can bring up uncomfortable things from the past. We were mentioning what all is retrograde right now. So today, the planet Venus that's been retrograde is stationed direct. So
Today?
yeah, the third, and so
Oh,
that's in Leo. And any kind of delays with money or plans um, should start moving forward a little bit, especially with matters of money. Um, but tomorrow, the planet Jupiter stations retrograde. So we trade up Venus going direct and Jupiter going retrograde. So all in all, we've got Mercury and Uranus and Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune and Pluto all retrograde. And let's see, Mercury is going to station direct here in the middle of the month, right around, let's see, the 14th or 15th. I think it's on the 14th. And so still a lag in time, just like when you were on your other computer, that delay. That's what retrograde energy does. It's like we're doing action, but then things aren't catching up with us, to be in sync. There can be sort of this out of sync feeling. Um, and Also, what's been going on during this full moon is Jupiter and Venus in a square, 90 degrees apart. And a Jupiter Venus square is very fortuitous. I mean, that is opening doors for expansion in your vocation and ways you make money. And, Jupiter is all about foreign elements, like foreign countries, foreign people. It doesn't mean you need to be somewhere foreign, but people from foreign places may be in your reality. Um, it's just a very you know creative, inspirational kind of energy. Jupiter square Venus, and with Jupiter stationing retrograde tomorrow, you know try to hold on to that creative part, because it's sort of lingering, and that's really cool. um, Squares are the tension we put on ourselves. So you might feel really motivated to you know clean out your closet, rearrange furniture, uh, start a new hobby, start a new class. We're in that period of the year where typically school begins and people's routines and schedules, possibilities. Yeah, perfect. I would say that cover is a perfect one word explanation of what we're feeling right now.
So the reason why I share with you, I looked at it today, and there's some classes in there that I thought that would be cool to take, and one was mushroom growing,
Oh,
and
neat.
yeah, and tinctures, and there was like a bunch of different classes like gardening and stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. And these are like one-off classes. It's not like
Right.
so many hours. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would encourage you to do that, and that's a great way to sort of surf the astro waves, that we're in. Um, since we're talking about retrograde, I'll put some dates on our tape here that people can keep in mind. So we said that Venus has gone direct today. Mercury will go direct the 14th. And of the outer planets, the first one to go direct is Pluto, and that's about October 11th. And then the next one to straighten out would be Saturn, and that's going to be right around the 5th of November. And then let's see, we'll in December, around the 13th, go through our final Mercury retrograde of the year. And then by January of 2024, around the 27th of the month, is when Uranus straightens out and goes direct. And then back up to Neptune goes direct the first part of December, around the 5th. So we've had Venus stationing retrograde go direct today. We have Jupiter going retrograde tomorrow. Mercury straightens out in about 2 weeks, around the 14th. And then of the outer planets, Pluto is the first one to straighten out. And that was October 11th. And then I think I missed telling you the Jupiter date. So the next outer planet, Saturn, goes direct November the 4th. And Jupiter goes direct December 31st, New Year's Eve. Uranus goes direct January 27th, 2024. So, retrograde energy, as you've been experiencing, and I'm sure a lot of viewers have, brings things from the past back. If not people, feelings, cycles, things that maybe we thought we were done and something has to be readdressed again, or closure, maybe hearing from an old boyfriend from the past means there was just a need for some closure, whether it was your end or their end. It has to do with somebody needs to feel like they put a bow on it. I really like this motivational guy. I've been seeing his Luke something, and he talks a lot about releasing negativity and empowering yourself and being careful how you speak of and to yourself. And one of the things he said recently that I think I sent you a text was the disrespect that you were shown is the closure. So that is always more intense when it's romantic relationships. And with this Venus transit here, certainly in Pisces, is very romantic. There's certainly a lot of relationship issues that have probably come to a head this week. People reevaluating. The first one that comes to my mind, and I don't know why, but, are you in a sexless relationship? And why? People stay a lot of times way too long out of some morbid kind of perceived obligation. Whereas, we're here having the human experience, and sexuality is just as creative of an energy as the psychic element, and using your skills for sports and hobbies and all kinds of areas. There's been a real degradation of a sexual revolution with the Pluto Saturn conjunction, and in the fallout of that are people reevaluating what is their passion. It's an interesting energy, and I don't know why it is part of human nature to stay safe, so to speak. It's safer to stay in an unfulfilling relationship than it is to step off the cliff to see, to be by yourself, for instance. A lot of people just stay because they don't want to be by themselves. Being able to be by ourselves in and of itself is an important lesson. And I used the word self way too much in that sentence. So, we have, let's see. We had also last week the planet Uranus station retrograde. And I equated that with driving down the highway and slamming the car in reverse. So that's sort of this, it's electricity. Uranus is electricity. So, what happens when a storm hits, like a thunderbolt hits a power line, and it snaps from the pole, and it's sparking all over the street, right? It's irrational, it's erratic, it's unpredictable, and that's how this energy is. And I think what it helps us do and learn is an element of flexibility, like where we do get so stuck in routines and zombie like modes. Uranus comes along and kind of tries to wake your ass up. And so, uh, another element that is associated to retrograde energy is introspection. So, with all these planets, personal and outer, having spent long periods of time retrograde over really a good portion of this year, and still to continue through the end of the year, what are people reflecting on? Are you reflecting on what you've chosen as a profession, Venus? How you make your money, Venus? Who you chose as a partner, Venus? So it's so cliche, but Venus is about love and money. And she's been under a lot of different aspects all summer long. And being retrograde, that brings up memories from the past and people. And with Saturn also was holding hands with this full moon, that brings in that father figure, the responsible, wise old man who doesn't do anything in impulsively, and can often feel like an exasperation because you feel like you want to go forward. The full moons too within a month bring out a lot of, pull to do and go and get forward. And Saturn's sitting here going, be patient, soul, and just, breathe deep and go slow and think about what you've learned, because that's what Saturn does, is he teaches us our lessons and responsibility. So, being that 12th house, again, Pisces, this is about responsibility from past relationships and behaviors. The 12th house is karma. You know, so I think people in a spiritual community, and who tune in to programs like this all can say that you can see sometimes karma play out instantaneously, and we think it's fun, and we have a laugh. It can be something as silly as some lady being ridiculous in a parking lot, and then the next thing you know, her car gets hit, or the very person that's griping at other people about what they're doing, well, then the universe comes around and gives them a taste of reality. So, hey, Shubaka. Um, so,
I would say I think we're all are having um,
delays, delay.
yeah, delay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay. That gives us extra time to really think about what we want to do. Um, Another part of a spiritual journey is and 12th house energy is not to resist sitting with uncomfortable feelings. you know, Sit with what you're feeling uncomfortable about. You don't have to make any decisions about it. You don't have to make any big proclamations, but just to be able, Saturn says sit still. And so, you know, you're exactly right, JK. Delays are a gift from the universe. And sometimes um, that that restriction Saturn brings is such a blessing, because in the meantime, something better has been offered, or a different path opens up we didn't see before. So certainly, uh, this is a time to be more contemplative and think about what you want to do, as opposed to, trying to be, as far as activity, the activity that you do within your own space, the organizing, the cleaning out, those are for yourself, right? I think there's a feng shui element that, always have a blank shelf in your home, always have a clear surface in your home, because that associates to a clear mind. And it can be hard to do. So, that might be another thing that would be a class or to explore is feng shui, because there is a real uh, science behind the energy of physically where we call home, and how it makes us feel. um, you know uh, I keep going back to that robotic kind of activity where we all are guilty of getting into these routines and somewhat asleep. We're just exhausted from trying to survive, because there's been a lot of intense energies for a few years now. And so our bodies are trying to adjust to the shifts, and our lives are changing and evolving. Things that we thought may have been one way aren't. Sometimes that can be a real disappointment, because we're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. So, and I think even more and more and more of that type of thing, it's an interesting unfoldment. Uranus is about evolution within humanity. So, I had this vision today about plastic bags, and more places aren't providing them. So, you see people schlucking their bags to the stores. And here's an irony for you that this kind of energy has made me contemplate. One day at my retail part-time job a few months ago, this lady got real provoked with me because I was putting the item she'd purchased in a plastic bag. And she just had kind of a little meltdown about, you know, I don't want a plastic bag. And what about the dolphins? And I'm not laughing about that. I mean, I'm an environmentally conscious person. Oh, I'm not sure what happened. So anyway, that's a really weird timing.
I know. So,
So I want.
for whatever reason, you look delayed. Am I like looking at you delayed? Do you see yourself delayed?
Um, am I delayed?
I don't know. Or that could be me, but I see that I'm streaming fine. But
Well, my screen went black for a moment. Did you see that?
no, but it looks like you're going in and out.
All right, I'm going to leave and come back in. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. You guys can see a whole bunch of stuff going on behind me. um, so yeah, I guess we're gonna wait for Sunny to come back. So I hope you guys are doing well. So I was gonna record on my other computer, but my internet was slow. It was glitching, like very much like how Sunny was coming in. So it's been like that for the past 3 weeks. I really don't know why. Like the internet is doing that.
Is this better?
Yeah, yeah, it works.
So on my end, all of a sudden the screen went blank and I had the little turning wheel.
Yeah, I was just telling the audience that it's been glitchy lately for the past 3 weeks.
Well, the the thing that this energy will make blaringly obvious are the hypocrisies in people, and what, all the configurations that we've been navigating for the summer. A sum total is that your values and actions and the way you live are authentic and consistent. So if you're saying one thing and doing another, that's more difficult than trying to just work through the inconsistencies and get on a page where you're comfortable, that what you're doing and what's in your life are more calm and more. So the example I have is I watch people around here all the time picking up the dog poop in plastic bags, but yet they have a problem with plastic bags.
Mm-hmm.
Poop is organic and will deteriorate. It will naturally break down, immediately. It starts breaking down. And what do most dogs do after they poop? They like brush their back legs because they're covering it up. That's something they've done instinctually. Just cats do that or whatever. So, it's just ironic. That's a prime example of how you live your life and what you're spouting off about your values don't match. Because, and when this lady was,
What if the plastic bag was biodegradable?
well, right, I mean, plastic bags are made from petroleum.
Mhm.
Petroleum and oil, that is ruled by Neptune. And so it is an abundant resource in the earth, but it gets politicked around, right? So, but that was just a very basic example of, you know, getting on the same synchronicity with yourself and your actions. So, um, if something's draining you or just creates dread on your person or on your nervous system, that's the thing that you're supposed to be, delving into your anxiety closet about and turning it all around. Like, you know, what happens if you make a change to do something differently? What do you have to do, to stop feeling that dread for something? Are you, um, compromising your best health to make other people happy? And that is our Saturn boundaries. So this is, really pretty deep spiritual work types of energy with Pisces that has to do with your, past lives and empathy and, psychic ability. So, say you're around someone you work with or you're, intimate with, and you get an impression about, here's a simplistic type of example. Say you're with a partner and you live together or something. It's pretty serious. And you're with them and something comes in your mind crazy like, uh my first example that comes to mind is you feel like they are texting with someone else. Then the value systems come up, and I've been seeing this more around, is texting betrayal? Is, what degree of betrayal is it when you're in a relationship? Is flirting, you
Well,
know,
I think it's like the time. Is there time texting? Does it equate to the time, the FaceTime that you're actually getting? Or are you in the same room and they're texting someone else constantly?
Right.
then I feel that that could be addressed and say, "Hi, I'm here. What's so important on the text? Is this something you'd like to share?" And
Right.
they're either open with it or they want to like bullshit and say,
Right.
it's it's nothing, it's work related, but they're texting another woman or a man, and so like that's a slippery slope right there. It really depends. Like
And what do we naturally want to do with that? We want to stick that in our anxiety closet. We want to put that in
you
the
let
bag.
it go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
act like you don't give a damn.
And
And then,
so with
and then you
a big super full moon in Pisces in the 12th house, it's going to bring illumination to those kinds of, you might just have the nerve to bring it up, to say something. I when I quit my part-time job recently, I could have walked away quietly, but I didn't.
oh,
And because I just felt that whole, the disrespect is the closure. And there is just this inherent laziness with some of the management where I was, and that deflecting of, my lack of taking responsibility, being projected on other people. And I was really tired of being projected upon. And I don't know why this came to me, and I shouldn't have, here we go. Should I or shouldn't have said it? I could have been fine without saying it, but this energy was like, you know what? I feel it. I think it's true. I'm saying it. And
okay.
that was, this manager girl that was, trying to deflect something on me that was actually her responsibility, um, was a prima donna. She's always acting like a diva, like she's above doing her job, or just very, very lazy. And so the big boss, who ultimately had to send my resignation into, I love to death, and I will miss her, and I hope that our paths cross again. But I let her know such and such is a prima donna. I don't appreciate the attitude. I don't come to a second job after working 40 hours a week to be disrespected by someone lazy like that. So that
Mhm.
was that. So I could have easily just said, hey, I could have made up something, right?
Right.
Oh, right. But no, this is the energy to, if it's if you feel it and it feels true, it's up to you to express it. And it may not always come out pretty, but I think in the long run, the more we can express ourselves truthfully and authentically, then we manifest the situations that bring us a lot more love and money. Venus, love and money. And so, you know, it's a it's an interesting time. We come up here in the 14th to a Virgo new moon, um, and Virgo, is the perfectionist. They don't let stuff lie. They get their lists of lists together and they take care of things. Um, uh, then not too many, few weeks after that, in October, we start into eclipse season. So where if you think you've been feeling pressure and chaos over these last few months, really we're just getting started. So I feel like this is a time to sort of prime our pumps, prime our, spiritual practices, so to speak, because a lot more will be coming up about experiences from the past. You know, uh, patterns usually repeat themselves because we haven't learned the lesson. And this is retrograde will bring up energy to, um, you know, do it the way that's most uncomfortable to you. If you are used to just passively, like, um, like that, I left a part-time job. I don't need to leave an explanation. Well, it was real uncomfortable to actually say the thing that I observed, regardless of what your opinion was or whether you agree with me. This is how it came from my heart. And I think that's where we're all going through this year of our heart opening and our third eye chakra opening, and really putting those two things together to get in better spaces. We're not here to be miserable and to struggle from point A to point B. And I think if we're honest with ourselves and look at the anxiety closet, we know that we've put ourselves in a lot of the situations that have created angst. And so, it's a real, I keep sounding like a broken record. It's a really interesting energy. It's a really interesting energy, but it's really a time for us to get our hearts and intuition in synchronicity with each other, and not so concerned with, you know, who might disagree with you. And that's the bottom line, is finding your truth, communicating it, and not
So, in other words, don't hold back. Be
yeah, don't hold
kind.
back. What is Shabaka saying? Sonny, do you realize how society drones we are? What would people think? And yet it's our lives. You got it, Shabaka. I love food. I'm missing something in the chat.
It kind of sounds Star Trekky. Shabak. Just saying.
Well, and Uranus does bring evolution to outer space, UFOs, aliens. Have y'all noticed a lot more on TV about, declassified documents? And in my feed in YouTube the last couple of days, um, Kubrick, Kubrick, I think his first name was Sydney. He was a movie director in the late 60s, early 70s. And, there are these tapes out there on the internet of him being interviewed about filming the moon landing.
Oh,
That
I
it
saw
was
that, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Stanley
Saying that
Kubrick.
it was all fake or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so, how does that make you feel? Have we been bamboozled for decades about one thing or another? Is that, gonna is that gonna make your life different? You know, and I think it all points to, we have to be solid within ourselves and know our intuition to be able to judge what we need to do for ourselves, and not look out to third party entities to tell us what we need to feel or think. So, but all around us will be people that don't know how to not be told how to think and feel. And this kind of energy makes you think and feel. So you definitely have to, they, you definitely have to get solid with how you feel about something, and not so scared, to feel what you think, or to feel a certain way that might not match everybody. And I think that's what ultimately will be the crux of relationships, and
So
is
this is my thing or take on what's going on in the world today. There's so much like AI out there and misinformation. Like it is like on fire. Like it is so easy to spread misinformation and not knowing what is real and what's true. I have a hard time of like getting all this information, but really using your intuition and you have to do it like constantly,
Right.
because it's like, how do you feel about this? And obviously, everyone is going to have like their own opinion on
Right.
what X, Y, and Z is, and it's still creating a sense of division. Like we can't all just agree on
Right.
something. So it's like I don't know if that's like a secret thing that is happening, or if that's like humanity. I don't know. Because all we want is to get along, right? It's,
Right. Well, and I think that that's where we're heading with all of the Uranus transits this year is humanity being more loving and peaceful. Pisces is, compassion and empathy for others. And, on a greater scale, it's an ego death,
mm-hmm,
right? So when you kind of peel back all the layers of why people take the positions they do or defend positions that they're just scared to think of any other way is the ego. And one of the best things I ever was taught about ego was from a Buddhist monk who had all kinds of lectures and meditations about the ego. And I'm sure everyone here has had their share of psychology and opinions about ego. But I really liked what he had to say about you only need as much enough ego to know when you're hungry. Your ego basically keeps you alive, it keeps you sustained. But in terms of the control it has over what you tell people or manipulating situations and all those kinds of things, that really gets down to, I think we just all want to feel loved and needed, and so others have more ego than not. Some people could use a little more ego, right? If they're very if they're cutting themselves and being very abusive to themselves, then they could use a stronger dose of ego. And then there's, the other extreme of the narcissist who thinks the world evolves around them. So, there's a healthy dose somewhere there in the middle. But I do think that a lot of these challenges have to do with our perception and how our ego sees it. So if we can meditate on what's the thing that's really getting to me, if that twin flame or that crush or whoever you had your sights on chose other people or didn't know you were alive, um, isn't that really just our ego hit? It's like our ego is, it, in a universal sense, in terms of we're bodies of light and all connected by a group consciousness, really doesn't matter, does it?
mm-hmm,
And I think that our ego has a tendency to, want to keep us down. It wants to keep us feeling insecure and um, when our body dies, the ego dies. So it will do and say all kinds of things that keep us running in circles. And I think that has to do a lot to do with the patterns of behavior that these energies are repeating and the retrograde energies bring up. So I think it's always a good feeling when one of those patterns has come up and you've handled it differently and can bless it and there's your closure, and you don't look back and I'll tell you, I have a Cancer moon in Venus. I know all about guilt. I'm very good at feeling guilty about things, or especially if I think I've hurt someone's feelings or said something they didn't want to hear. But, for about 48 hours after telling that boss about the one of the like departmental kind of managers was a prima donna, I really felt bad about it. I was like, I could have gone without saying that, but my fervor was up, and interesting how things get thrown at you and how you respond. I mean, I'm sure that
Well,
was
I think it was your delivery that probably was enough to get the message across. If
yeah.
you were to like I don't want to say sugarcoat it or like kind of like, made it a little less, I don't think that it would come off the same way.
I wanted to make a point.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it.
And I don't normally. And so it was
I
like,
don't
that
know
was a
about
new
that. There
pattern.
were some past times where you spoke your truth to the
Yeah, I know. And it
that's
feels
the truth.
good, you know. And sometimes don't you think you're in somebody's life or path to reflect something to them that maybe nobody else has had the classic example, the spoiled brat in a family who gets everything and keeps the family all stirred up, running around chasing their tails because they're just a brat, because
Mhm.
nobody will stand up to the brat. And sometimes somebody just needs to stand up to the brat. And it's uncomfortable. And so I think a lot of what we're going through, or maybe just that, taking uh, actions that might be a little uncomfortable because our anxiety closet is being lit up by a super moon. And then it transfers into these weird dreams. So it's like the dream state starts feeling like some alternate reality. And I do feel that that's another thing at play here is interdimensional timelines and getting into quantum physics. So there's a lot to chew off and chew on all of these energies. And I think if we can just develop our tools that keep us somewhat calm and steady and consistent, um, we weather it best.
Sounds good. Sounds like a
Because it's
plan.
still a ways to go. I mean,
Well, I
we,
still kind of feel I feel like after I guess the peak, I was like, "Ooh, no, we can't do live." I got so much going on. Now that 3 days have passed, it does feel better, but it's not over. I really
right,
feel like it's still gonna like this is just a temporary break.
right.
I feel. Um, but yeah, I'm like really curious to see what the energies is like because we're still in the Mercury retrograde and then
Right.
Venus going direct. Um,
Jupiter going to retrograde.
yeah, it's still
So
kind of
September
wonky.
14th is an interesting day with the new moon and Mercury stationing direct.
Mhm.
So if you've been feeling like this sort of redo kind of energy, like, you have to redo something you did on the computer or reload or redo, that should be smoother once we have the new moon and Mercury direct towards the middle to end of this month,
And that's 2 weeks from now.
the 14th. Yeah. Hey, hey,
How
hey,
I
you survived last week, right?
uh, I don't know. I feel like the weather is changing. I need more time. I need my hour back. Like,
Well, and that was another thing that I think is one of the basic good habits for spiritual practice, and that is making sure you are getting good rest and sleep. Because
hmm
you certainly can't navigate these kinds of wacky, chaotic energies sleep deprived. I've noticed people around me in my workplace that, they're just one guy's had a new baby, not getting any sleep. One girl's, had a suicidal teenager she's been dealing with, not getting any sleep. There's several people in the office that their personal lives have kept them from just getting solid rest. And that just starts to deteriorate everything around you, your mood, your feeling, your appetite, um, So it really gets back to the basics of nutritious food, solid rest, a little sunshine if you can. Um, and one of my main astrology teacher for a long, long time, from the time I was 17 till I was, I don't know, well into my 50s. She was always like a second mother to me. And she always said, use the KISS method. Keep it simple, sugar. And I actually caught myself saying that in the workplace this week. And I hadn't used that in years. And sometimes she would say, keep it simple, stupid. But I was around a bunch of coworkers and didn't want to come off condescending to call everybody stupid. So I
Right.
sugar, right? And really it does come down to that, as to how to swim through cosmic waters that are very deep and murky, and finding peace, and solace in your simplicity. I mean, doesn't it feel good when you wake up and, like, the weather change, when it's a little cooler? You wake up and you just know you kind of have that unctuous feeling like you've really slept well, and you just want to stretch. I think that's what our animals teach us. Whether you're a dog person or a cat person, it's like we learn so much from them, because what's the first thing they do when they wake up? Oh, they stretch and
Hmm.
take that moment, and it's those simple things, getting your chakra grid and your meridians moving, keeping hydrated. Um, that is a really simplistic way of navigating really difficult times. It's almost like, staying below the radar, so if you do pop your head up into a situation, the more rested and nourished you feel, the more solid your responses are and your behavior patterns. Instead of, when you're sleep deprived, you tend to pop off without thinking things through, or don't say what you mean. Mercury retrograde is classic. You see it in your head how you want to say it, but it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out right, and so
I think that's. I think we all had that moment this time around.
I think I get frustrated because I'll think about something I wished I had said later. Like, I tend to shut down when I feel a tense or confrontative kinds of energy. And then later, there's this delayed reaction. It's like, oh, I should have said da 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 da. That would have perfectly said what I felt, but I, in the moment, couldn't express how I felt. So, knowing yourself better through your intuition and through, just really simple, basic lifestyle habits of rest and nutrition, it's amazing how it will help us see things better, and not get but so swayed, from one extreme to another, when I think basically society around us is in chaos, and people um, are really going through their karmic purges. And you never know when you might be the target of somebody's purge. Don't you ever? So the 12th house is also about past lives. So a lot of who you might be dealing with right now is, if you're wondering, like, what is that all about, Alfie? It's, something from a past life.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I
you know,
guess we won't know unless we get like our chart done, right, with you.
certainly the chart does give past life information, but, you know, I was getting ready to say, past life regressions
Hmm.
might bring information, but I was hesitating because I've known people that live off of past life regressions. And so my intention would not be to become obsessed with your past lives because you're living this life, but certainly through the chart or some sort of hypnosis, you can glean something to apply to your current life.
So, what I've learned about hypnotherapy is that it's not like, who you were in a past life. It's about what you've learned, and it could be totally like role playing. You don't have to like really live out like, being like a pharaoh or a king or a queen or whatever that comes to mind when you're going under past life regression. It's more or less like, what did you learn from it? Because basically we're going through a subconscious mind and looking for answers that isn't clear in the present moment. And so if we can accept that's basically what it is. um, because when I went to like a hypnotherapist local here, it was an older lady, and when I went under regression, I was a man in my past life, you know, and I was like a newspaper boy, like I I delivered papers and I wrote articles and stuff, and
Neat.
yeah, and it was like it was so surreal because it was in the 50s, which is really before my time. And I saw that my woman was dancing with another man, and I got like really sad about that because she had chosen to be with him rather than with myself. And what I asked myself, like, what would I do different from my past life into this life? And I told myself that I should just be happy.
Right. That's a good advice.
Yeah. And I was like, well, how? Why I'm not happy because my woman chose another man. What the hell? And then in this life, it's reversed. Like my man chose another woman. Like it's the same thing. So the moral of the story is that no matter what relationship or situation that you're in, be okay with letting go.
That's good advice.
Just let go. And I know it's easier said than done, but because I know that we can get caught up in the nostalgia of, of encountering people in our lifetime because it does seem familiar, and we want to know like what's going
We
on. Just
Yeah, we want what we want when we want it.
right. We're living this life, so
Yeah.
it's like, well, what's going on now? But regardless of outcomes, just be okay and just go with the flow, like I always say. And things will come when the timing is right. You know.
And that was another way to kind of, distinguish between your instinct and your ego was every time you say I want or I need, that's the ego. It's that small, quiet voice deep in your subconscious that is the intuition.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I kind of had a weird thing when I think about retrograde energy now. I did a past life regression back in like, it was the early 90s. And I did it because of this intense feeling I had for this guy, and he wasn't getting with the program.
Okay.
And I just knew, there was some reason for this intensity, but I didn't know what it was. And I did this past life regression, and I saw us like during Civil War times. I was a nurse, and when you're going through a past life regression with like a third person or a group, they're asking you questions, to fill in. Where are you? What period of time is it? What are you doing? How are you feeling? And through that experience, in the end, I was seeing him as a very old, lonely man. Like he ultimately didn't end up with anyone. Okay. And that's been a long time ago, 90s, 30 years ago. Completely by accident, within the last few months, I got word he died. And he would not be that old, but he died of something. And then I remembered that past life regression. He didn't live to be an old lonely man. So then, when I heard this, I was like, well, shoot, in that hypnotic state, my ego was even trying to pacify me by thinking, oh, he'll just be an old, lonely man. You know what I mean? And he ultimately did go on to get married, and, his kids had grandkids. He had a lot of blended families from a couple of different marriages. And so when I heard that he had died, I was like, he was the age of one of my brothers who's already died. And I just, I remembered that thinking, well, my regression was wrong. That must have been some perception in my mind during that regression that made me feel better, to pacify that, low self-esteem or feeling rejected, um, that he was just going to be an old lonely man, and he wasn't. So
Mhm.
it's sad when you can live so long to have that many years pass to see that come around.
Yeah.
But
So I think that a lot of it is like it's really projection,
yeah,
projecting our ideas onto like what we think, but it may not be true. Yeah.
right, right. That's why I said it, that there may be information to glean, certainly,
Hmm.
but I just think it comes down to our intuition, right? And listening to that small, still voice, that feels solid. If you have butterflies in your stomach or some kind of discomfort, that's not, you know, that's not the right answer. Your intuition should feel like warm and fuzzy and solid and just right. And there's so much distraction and energetic manipulation around us. It's hard sometimes. It's hard all the time to get to that stillness. So I think that's where we are with trying to be all we can be, and the best we can be is finding that stillness amongst all of the chaos.
That sounds good.
I brought out some lovers cards because Pisces is about the lovers.
Yes, and I have my old tried and true tarot deck right here.
We like tried and true. We like tried and true love, right?
Yes,
We
I
like to
actually
keep it
started,
real,
yeah, started
keep
off
it
this
simple,
deck right here.
keep
So
it real, keep it simple. Don't think too much. Don't you think we all overthink too much?
yeah, because I told you earlier that my throat felt like it was burning. It still
Yeah.
is.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know
Is
what
the
the
candle out?
yeah.
Okay.
It's burning. Like I don't know if it's well, I just had tea.
Is there something you need to say?
No. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I just feel like I just need to like not talk.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know.
that's
It's so burning. I was like, okay, like, well, what the hell is it? I don't know. My tongue is burning. It's not just like my throat, it's like my tongue.
I think it's something in that candle, sort of an allergic thing.
You think? So
I
you
do.
think that just by like just waiting it out, it'll be okay? I shouldn't have
Oh
to.
yeah.
allergy
Well,
medicine.
you can always gargle with warm salt water. That cures everything.
Okay, I'll do that after live.
Yeah.
It's just so strange. Like, I don't like this feeling. It feels like burn. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm thinking about.
Have you had any like high acid type foods today?
Yeah, coffee.
Okay, that can cause
And coffee
heartburn.
causes
Yeah.
like heartburn. Oh
Yeah.
hell, where's my
Oh,
Tums at?
yeah.
I'm gonna take some Tums and then gargle. I'll do two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I feel better because I feel like I have a cure now.
Yeah. I think it's the heartburn. Something maybe in that candle that you're responding to.
Because I've noticed that when I burn certain candles, especially with cream in it, I get like it's hard to breathe.
Well, for Aries, I got 6 of coins.
Oh, okay. Wow, look how he's putting that coin down there. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, I was going to, is he paying for a prostitute?
I don't know, but look, he's regretting it. Oh no, I should have paid her. Like what? Yeah, he paid it in a different way. Oh no. What do you think?
Well, I think Aries might be feeling um, let down by a friend they trusted and lent some money to, and feel used and abused and cast aside.
So taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I guess this is the time to reflect on.
It's definitely an end of a cycle with the 9.
Mm-hmm.
And, the 6 of coins, when, it is kind of a learning a lesson about money and value. I think they've come to the end of some sort of uh, cyclical pattern about self worth. Because Aries is the self, it's one, it's the beginning of the zodiac, it's the child. And they can, no matter what age, always be youthful. So this kind of feels like maybe a hard lesson about money.
Yeah. Where did it go?
Why they do that.
Yeah, it's okay, Aries. Now you know.
The other thing that came to my mind, uh, I had a brother that used to invest in all kinds of crazy get rich quick schemes. And of course, Aries likes compulsive and to get it quick. So maybe they lost some money in some kind of, you know,
Investment.
yeah, that they didn't think through. And that's a lesson to learn. That's a hard lesson to learn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, he'll be all right. It's temporary.
So 9, contemplation. That be the hermit.
Hmm. Well, I have 4 wands and it came up in reverse. So maybe think about getting a divorce or not feeling.
Boy, aren't we full of happy news today?
I know. I mean, and we're or yeah.
This
Hmm.
is definitely self-reflection.
What is he drawing in his picture?
A woman.
Maybe he's with the wrong one, like living a lie. Like how you said earlier, like some people choose relationships, because they're comfortable.
Right.
Maybe Taurus, you're thinking about leaving a relationship to be with that person that you're drawing a picture of. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. An engagement called off.
Yeah. Not feeling very stable in the house. It'll be all right, Taurus.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Gemini.
Pisces 12th house energy is not easy. You know?
Hmm. Hmm. Gemini, you're upside down. We have the King of Swords in reverse.
Seven of Swords.
Oh wow. You cut somebody off because why? Were you sneaking away, or were you planning on going somewhere?
Exhausted. You know, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury retrograde. It's an exhaustive trying to, Mercury is the winged messenger. So Gemini is all about disseminating information. And with retrograde energy, it's like they're spinning their wheels and not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I see. It's like it's very cold energy. But do you see like in your card, there's someone left behind, and that lady looks like is
Yeah.
that blood or is that hurts on her dress?
It's hearts.
Uh, she doesn't look happy though. She looks afraid, like she. I don't know.
You know, it could be a woman gathering her own resources to set out on her own. Looks like she's gathering.
All the swords before he wakes up.
Yeah.
I
Not just another happy, cheerful,
know.
day in paradise.
It was supposed to be about love. Maybe it's about decisions in love and money.
Maybe it's about wanting to be with who you really want to be with and not who everybody thinks you should be with,
That's true.
you know?
Because she's looking like, yeah, I'm with
I'd
you, but
love to
I'd rather
see
be somewhere else. Like,
I'd love to see some comments about people's situations, like are they changing relationships or
I think so. I get that feeling that there's a shift in the energy of really making decisions about where you want to be and who you take in and who you leaving behind. That's what it feels like. Take no prisoners.
and maybe, living for yourself for once and not for, you
Other
know,
people.
the vision of what everybody else has for you.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Let's
Oh.
see. Cancer, 10 of arrows.
Well, I have 3 of cups, so
You
uh,
just got that just now. 10 of swords.
so what you went to a party and now you can't go no more. I don't know.
Well, very emotional. A lot of psychic activity here.
Maybe this is about somewhere who you want to be with, but you can't because you're with somebody else.
Maybe this is reflecting on a lot of past love. See the heart on the end of each sword?
Mm-hmm. And there's a rocket going somewhere. One's going up.
Cupid's arrow, maybe. Like reflecting on all the past love that didn't work so
And
that you can look ahead to the new love that will work. Because Three of Cups is all about harmony and, celebrating and good stuff there.
Mhm.
Balanced.
So maybe there's hope. Like if you could just like get over like your past and move forward to get over like this energy, like you can't go anymore. I don't know if like you're self-sabotaging yourself to get where you want to be, but maybe it's time to let go so you can. There's
You
somebody
know,
that you want to be with. It looks like it.
I think Cancer to a degree is in their element with this Pisces full moon, because they're already very watery and intuitive, and this full moon just feeds into more of that
Mm-hmm.
nurturing, maybe teaching others to nurture themselves, or being the reminder notice to others to nurture themselves, like with the good rest and good nourishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it's okay for you guys to take a little drink.
Yeah, take a
Take the
little
edge
drink.
off.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. Just this once. So now we have Virgo. Oh, and actually Leo. Sorry, Leo.
You wanted to skip over Leo.
Well, I mean, that thing was highlighted, so
I'm kidding. What's going on with Leo?
I don't
This
know.
Leo quit a job.
It's okay.
But it was some kind of maudlin obligation that I was holding on to that is not a good environment.
Mm.
I told my neighbor, it's like I wanted permission to quit. I didn't want to be a quitter, but it wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
And his response was, I don't know how you've put up with it as long as you have. So this is Cupid awakening for Leo.
Oh. Well, maybe Leo, because I have Queen of Cups in reverse. Maybe you don't feel loved. Maybe you're looking for that lover. I don't know. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, this is like, isn't it like emotional? I want to say manipulation, but just
Repression.
yeah, maybe like Leo, you know that you want to be loved, but there's a blockage somewhere. I feel like maybe open it up.
Trust. Trust issues.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
This has a lot of the red cloaks and scarves, which is vitality and passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think between the two here, it might be like repressed passion.
Yeah, because there's yellow in mine, yellow and blue. And so yellow is,
Spirit.
well, not only that, that's like the solar plexus chakra, which is about action, not taking action on your feelings. And that maybe you know this. So maybe it's like being secure in your feelings or thoughts of wanting to be with someone. I see here like this beach scene. Maybe you're thinking about that one time that you were on the beach. You see you have water behind you too. Is that water or is that like a
It
sea?
is water. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there's something going on here with this water energy about pulling back. Maybe, so you shouldn't hold back. You know, you just let it out, just like you did with
That's
the
right.
box.
Just
Yeah,
let it go.
to speak your mind.
Be real. Well, and that comes down to trust issues. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
certain degree of trust to say something difficult to somebody that
I know. Easier said than done, right? All right, so now we have Virgo.
interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
I have 10 of rods for Virgo.
Oh no. Oh look, I have nine. What's going
Oh,
on?
wow.
So you went from the nine to the 10. So you feel like you're defeated. Now you can't do it anymore. You gotta let go of something. Too much. I really feel it, Virgo, because you're coming to your birthday season. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe you're holding a lot of responsibilities, or maybe you're taking on way too much, and you just need to let go. Just
It's
like,
definitely a completed cycle, 9 to 10.
mm-hmm. So making that choice to let go of a few things, no sweat off your back.
Let go of one of the lists.
Yeah, like that one can go. It'll be
Yeah.
all right. Then you can free yourself up, for new energy.
Yeah. New moon in Virgo's coming up. So, you know, right now to be contemplating what you want to start, not starting it.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Well, I'm a Virgo rising, so
Yeah.
there was a lot on my plate. I had to let go. Like it was too much. But I found balance once I had the time. So,
Right.
yeah.
The more we slow down, the more time we have.
Um, More time to really think about what we need to do in a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
So now we have Libra.
Libra, 5 of arrows.
I have Eight of Pentacles. So this is about work or working on something. Um, with the Five of Arrows, it's like Five of Wands energy. Are you fighting?
No, this is swords.
Oh, swords.
5 of swords.
Well, still
So are they
conflict.
confused about what they want to do for work, maybe? Or there's confusion at work?
Hmm. Thinking about something, working on something, but confused. Like maybe it's the coworkers that they're working with, and Libra needs balance and structure. And
This might be like an angel off, trying to give guidance to another opportunity.
mm-hmm,
And the 8 of Pentacles often is like the apprentice.
mm-hmm.
So maybe Libra has an opportunity for some job change or promotion of some sort, or more money, more responsibility.
I also feel like there could be conflict, um,
Yeah,
like they're working, they're doing whatever they're tasked out to do, but I mean, like I feel like there's chaos in the workplace. Like you can't get the team
right,
to get it together,
right.
um, and really confused. I really feel like Libra, you know what you're doing, but like maybe your team is not on board. I don't know. Um, that's how I feel. Because I feel like you're doing your job. You're doing it well.
I think Libra has been in a fairly good space comparatively. They have a very, well, they're ruled by Venus, so they have a very, they have a way of seeing the good in everything, or seeing something good in everyone. They have that sort of social element that,
So they're like a leader, but
yeah,
and they try to find like the positives of.
getting along. They want the balance, getting along and being
Well, we
fair.
need more Libras in this world, kind of. Can we all just get along?
Yeah. It's the second time you've said that tonight.
Did I? Oh shit!
That
What's
must be a
up?
good message for our Pisces full moon. Can't we all just get along?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not having any conflict with my peoples, but I'm
I'm,
not quite
you
happy
know,
for the rest of you guys.
since I let go of a crappy part-time job, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much that was dragging me down until I was like, I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, now we have Scorpio.
Scorpio. Scorpio likes Pisces energy, that dark, murky, mysterious, trying to figure out what makes things tick.
Yeah, but it's like we kind of know what Pisces is up to,
Right.
which is what, nine of coins. Oh, okay. Being independent. Oh, look at this. I have five of coins in reverse.
Oh,
So Scorpio, you're doing well. Is this portrayal? You want to get out of feeling like you're not enough or not having enough, and you're doing it. So maybe this is that transitional thing, like going from rags to riches.
this also feels to me like a parent that gives a child a lot of money. The child is irresponsible with the money, and the parent is like, look, you've got to learn some responsibility about money. I'm not always going to be here to shell it out.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That could be a way of looking at it. I just feel
Not
like,
that the child would be out in the cold, but there's some sort of lesson around responsibility for money.
mm-hmm. I really feel like it's just like coming from a place of lack to abundance.
Yeah.
But
Through faith, maybe.
yeah, I really feel like maybe Scorpio, you're getting out of some sort of a struggle of not feeling like you're good enough. And then here you are, like looking good, smelling good. You know, you're at the nine of coins over here. So I feel like maybe it's just like I feel like it's financial. Like they got like some
Yeah.
boost in their finances, and that's a good thing. They don't have 10. Nine's good. Nine's
Yeah. The upside down five of pentacles might mean like a debt
paid off.
finished. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Which,
sounds good.
yeah.
That's why you don't have 10. You got nine. Like,
Yeah. I'll take nines.
yeah, that's good. Just as long as you're not, dependent on mom and daddy,
Right.
fill your
Offers.
bank account over there.
Yeah.
So now we have Sag.
Sag. I have four of cups.
Well, I have five of wands. I'm not feeling great about this fight amongst, I don't know, maybe five lovers. You have four cups though. Hmm. So this is
Uh,
love.
let's see.
Jeez.
She's dreaming about something or looking
Yeah,
out.
that's the princess locked up in the castle. She's got two loves. What is she going to choose? But she's stuck between the two. It's like she's at home. There's no love in there because it's empty. You know, she's feeling the passion, but where's they're fighting? I don't know. Maybe y'all got in an argument recently.
Or the five of wands can also be setting boundaries, fighting for your boundaries.
Mm-hmm. I really feel like this is about being in two different places and fighting about. Remember that text message thing?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Luna's in the cave, so yeah, that's what I feel like. That's the text message. Can we all talk about? Well, I don't know. Okay, well now they're not talking anymore.
Right.
I don't know what else to say, Sag.
It looks very reflective for Sag. Sag is ruled by Jupiter, which is stationing retrograde tomorrow. So they might be reflecting on um, work matters. You know, Wands is creativity, which is love. So that could bring in the. This looks very reflective to me. Like, what if I had married George kind of energy?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's that going on. So, yeah.
What is going on with Luna?
Because my son made it out, and her and Ethan, they don't like each other. And
Oh,
Luna turns into a bully when, yeah, it's like that. She feels like she's got one on Ethan, and Ethan is like, no. So they have like this
power
battle.
struggle.
Yeah, power struggle. And then it's so cute if whenever Ethan comes out and Luna can't contain herself, she'll get a chew toy and just like go to town on the toy.
Yeah.
And it's like she's got to
I'll
get her
show you.
yeah, and she was like ripping that thing apart. It's only with Ethan though. Like, yeah. She knows that he's intimidated by her. That's why she's like that. And then she shows him.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, that's fine.
3 times a charm.
I
Maybe
know.
we'll manifest that tonight with all of us here. And
Hopefully we all get
that's
that.
the mantra. Can't we all just get along?
I know. Please.
Capricorn.
Yes. Cap, what is going on with you guys?
A lot of hard work, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, I have 9 of Swords in reverse.
I have the Prince of Cups.
Oh, okay. So getting your head out of being stressed over your one true love. You know, it's not about work this time. It's about a lover. It's different.
Well, Capricorn needs to take a little break from work and feel more lovey, I guess.
Yeah, you deserve some passion in your life. So I guess don't stress about this love. And look, do you see the moon?
Yeah.
It's a crescent moon over there, but you said it's going wax. It's waxing or waning.
Yes. Waning.
Waning. Yeah. Well, you got to waste before you get to that moon.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or probably a few more days than that.
Hey, that sounds like a good timing because that's when Mercury goes direct. Right?
Right.
So Capricorn, don't stress.
What else is in his arms here?
I don't know. He looks pregnant. He's got a little baby, like a mystery baby.
Some kind of package.
Oh, a package. Oh. It's a letter. Does it look like a letter?
I got a letter.
Oh, maybe it's that toilet paper that's wrapped around this, like being bonded.
I don't know, but it seems awfully important. Maybe it's his feelings in a letter.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, he's holding that cup.
Huh.
Maybe maybe that's a message for all of us to write a letter about our feelings and burn it. You know, to transcend that sort of prehistoric mind, like get it out of its rut, an emotional rut. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I like burning letters. I think there's something cathartic about watching the flame and, you know.
I have a paper shredder behind me.
Yeah. No, that's brutal.
That's using swords, right?
Yeah.
I'll get you through my shredder. I guess it depends on the elements, right? Like
Right.
sword energy or you want fire energy.
Yeah.
You got water, earth, and you can like dig a ditch and bury it, like use it as compost. It's like,
Interesting.
hmm so whatever it is, don't stress about your feelings. Write it down and express
Let it
yourself.
go. Yeah.
hmm Sounds good. All right, now we have Aquarius.
On stage, Aquarius is front and center with all this Uranus activity.
And I have Judgment.
Wow. I got Prince of Coins.
Hmm. Maybe giving someone another chance.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
there might
I
be
think it
someone
might be
coming
an
back,
offer, right? It might be an offer.
like a past love coming back, making a decision if you want to take them back or not.
Rebirthing the relationship with Judgment.
There's something about those trees. I have birch trees just like that outside of my place. I don't know if I'm allergic to those trees. I
They're
don't know.
really pretty.
Yeah,
He
until
just looks like he's standing there with his heart on his sleeve, like,
he's
golly, Ned, what did I do? I need to fix this.
yeah wanting another chance, second chance.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming back around.
How do you feel about second chances?
This one's giving an offer, Aquarius. I mean, this is an offer.
I feel like it's an offer for also, like, I sense the romantic side of it, but that it's, like a project together or something. A humanitarian project, maybe.
It could be like in it together.
And yeah, or it would also be internet related,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you see a UFO together. Maybe you watch a documentary on UFOs together.
I've been watching a documentary. It was that 100 years documentary on Netflix. And
Yeah,
the first episode was about Okinawa and like how Okinawans are like the oldest living people or species, or I don't say species, humans on the planet. And it has a lot of factors about like number one, them being secluded. Number two, being in a tropical type climate. Number three, they're eating nutritious like foods like medicinal
fruits and
yeah.
yeah,
hmm And then there was this one interesting thing. They sit on the floor to eat and they also to sleep. And so, like in American lifestyle, we have a bed or tables. So we don't sit all the way down. We just sit halfway. And so what the guy was saying is that they're actually doing squats.
oh, and
Yeah, instead
also
of
like
sitting up and
earthing,
they're getting down.
you know,
Yeah. They're grounded, and plus they do a lot of gardening.
right.
So I was like, wow. So that, and then one lady was like, what makes a long life? She says, just be happy. Don't, whatever stress, whatever anger you got, let it go.
Yeah,
So I guess that's key to life is to not let things stress you out and um, eat good and sing and be happy.
be happy. I think Chewbacca said that earlier today, tonight. Just
I
be
think,
happy.
yeah, that was like in the very beginning. So now we have Pisces, which is this full moon
They
energy.
should be rocking and rolling. A lot going on.
I have Wheel of Fortune in the reverse.
Prince of Wands.
Okay. Hmm.
Feels like some kind of new project, new beginnings.
Yeah, but there's something that you have to let go of. Like, hmm.
What goes around comes around. Maybe something came home to roost.
Yeah, you got some karma that you got to clear, Pisces. I don't know what else to say. Uh, you might have some conversations about it, but it's like really surface level. I don't think you're really getting down to the bottom of it. Maybe you're like in your head about this, like being more imaginative and dreamy about like this conversation, but you need to like let this thing go.
This guy looks like he's, fixed on a direction on his horizon.
Is it the horizon? He got his back towards the horizon. He's not looking towards the sun. He's looking
Right.
moving away from it.
He's still very intent, it seems like, on whatever it's got his attention. And he's, kind of assertively holding that rod.
I know, though he got that grip on.
Yeah.
Well, what's that thing say, Siegfried? Do
Yeah.
you know what that means?
You want me to look it up?
Uh, yeah, because I noticed it.
Prince of Staves. Where is the book? Ah! Ah!
Because I really feel like Pisces, you need to put
This is
some.
a big book.
Oh, it is big.
Let's see.
There must be something in there.
2, 4. I'm almost there. Prince. All right, hold on. I can't see.
Okay, you can put your glasses on.
All right, so Siegfried and Brunhild affiliated with the strength card, new ideas, communications, enthusiasm. Brunhild, the brave, Valkyrie warrior, represents the fiery princess. I can't talk. Prince of Staves. The personification of her father, Brunhild, suggests the forcefulness offered by the princess of. Wait a minute. Do I have the princess? Oh, wait a minute.
Prince.
I don't want the prince. Okay. So this is also the strength card. Passion, integrity, action, and movement. Siegfried, the conquering hero, represents the Prince of Staves, a young man filled with passion and strength. Lacking fear, Siegfried valiantly obtained the ring from Fafnir and woke Brunhild from her enchanted sleep. The Prince of Staves' stalwart character offers an example of integrity that will not buckle under pressure. Unafraid to use his stave for protection, this young man carries himself the knowledge necessary to take action without fear. The Prince of Staves is a welcome addition to any situation needing change. Embracing all challenges, his brave ability to forge ahead raises the spirits of all those he meets, dispelling doubts which may stop them from moving forward. He is as strong as the verdant tree growing behind him and just as rooted in his convictions. The ability to create change in the world, passion, integrity, creativity, and initiative. New ideas or ventures that must be acted upon immediately. A young man who inspires others to live their mission. That's
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot for a prince.
Pisces. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with all of that said, there must be something that you're not doing, and you need to complete that in order for you to have like this um, new chapter in your life. So
Interesting.
you're at the end of something. You need to like put some closure so you can move forward.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the disrespect is the closure.
Uh, well,
Oh,
the message was provided. Was given.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay. Whatever it takes, because not everybody can understand.
right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's
And
it.
it's different for everyone.
Mhm. Mhm. So that's it. That's all the signs.
Well, sounds like Pisces has got it going on.
Yeah, if you make that change, not really think about
Pisces, I guess the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, probably can feel through this kind of energy because they're already familiar with that watery kind of, you know, feeling.
it. Mhm.
Feelings.
Feelings
It's all
and
about feelings.
my. Did I tell you my brother has a t-shirt or a sweatshirt and it's a stick figure and it looks like it's effing right and it says feelings. So basically,
Oh,
it means effing F your feelings.
oh gosh. Oh, he's got another baby on the way, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I know my brother. He's very. How do I put this? I know how to push his buttons to make it where he can't take it.
That sounds like a sibling rivalry.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the Capricorn in me or it could be the Scorpio. Who
It's
knows?
probably more the Scorpio.
Because yeah, he always seems to be the mama's boy and gets his way with things. And I'm like, no, not with me. But we actually had a little confrontation earlier, but we've managed to work it through.
Yeah, siblings can be an interesting karmic kind of energy.
Hmm. It's okay. One thing that we do agree on is going camping and stuff. We like to go on family camp excursions, so that's our together time. And then we have like competition who gets to build like the better tent
Right,
and the
right.
fastest. Like a little competition thing we got going on. I was like, oh, look at my tent. And then he has like this whole thing set out, like, it looks like a house
Oh,
thing. And he has a grill set up, and I'm looking at mine. It's just,
he's like ready.
yeah, mine's ready. It's built, it's simple, but it's next to the freaking bench, picnic table. So I was like,
Well,
okay, you cook over there, and we're ready to eat over here.
I
So,
saw something about it's this really fancy camping tent. It was like partitioned with a
mm-hmm,
couple of rooms, and you inflated it with this pump,
mm-hmm.
and they even had this pipe that they ran through the wall for exhaust from a indoor, well, I guess it was a little wood stove.
Oh,
Um, their cots. I mean, it was a fancy deal.
hmm. Well, that's an upgrade. Mine wasn't like that, you know.
And it must be some kind of tent that they're promoting because then they had another episode that showed what they called a two-tier tent. But all of them were blown up like a bouncy house.
That sounds like a nice little tent,
And
blow up tent. You don't
it
have to.
was interesting the food they prepared. Like they had some really good meals. They wrapped potatoes in foil and put them down in the embers of the fire to bake.
Hmm.
And it seems to me like they made some rice and some kind of, they were chopping up vegetables and I don't know. They took the whole, had a whole cooler of food and they were eating really well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that
It's
sounds good. So, hello everyone. Hi. Okay, I like the oversized lips, full of belly, put gloss, creamy mood.
I mean, isn't there a cosmetic line called Mood?
I don't know. I've seen the butterfly lips though. It could have looked like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like over like I don't know. Mr. Porcupine robs himself at midnight. Mr. Wolf and Cousin Coyote thinking it's a chew toy. Oh, ouch. That hurts. Find Dr. Stephen Greer. Not a joke. You want to hear what he has to say. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, honey. Here's a four-leaf clover for those who think that they can find that guy.
Eat all the four-leaf clover. Well, actually, the aspects to Jupiter and Venus is like a four-leaf clover. Shibaka was very good signature for that planetary relationship.
Yeah, you never know. He might be walking down the street.
You never know.
Hmm. So just be open, guys. You don't know like what happens around this
And
time.
keep excited and let it go. I think tonight the messages have been be happy, um, let it go, and what was the one you were saying a couple of times?
I forgot now. Oh, can't we all just get along?
Right. So that would be the synopsis. Um, can't we all just get along, be happy, and let it go? Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that sums it up very nicely.
So, what are we looking forward to with the new moon in Virgo? I know that you briefly talked about it. What should we expect from this going into the next?
Let's see what else is happening with the new moon in Virgo. Let's see. Virgo new moon is September 14th and 15th. Oh,
So, the new moon is coinciding with the Mercury going direct.
yes, right.
So, things should be clear. It's time to break out those lists and get the
Yeah, and
working.
it's also it's at 21 degrees. So it's making a trine, which is very positive,
Mm-hmm.
to Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus, so that would be very positive um, gifts of money.
Okay. So there should be money coming on through the latter half of September.
There's some, yes, there's some karmic, um, karmic, a square from South Node to Pluto. So that's putting pressure on yourself, like trying to resist doing something over again. South Node.
Hmm.
And that in turn would be squaring the from Pluto to the North Node. So there, that combination there has something to do with feeling pressure in our soul to stretch out of our comfort zone. And there's it's stress we put on ourselves, squares.
So
Then
remember, I just pulled those cards for Virgo, and it was the 9 to the 10 of Wands.
right, right,
So that's actually in alignment with what's
right.
going on.
Finishing something, that's familiar. And Chewbacca, Aries says, don't pay for sex.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Aries learned their lesson this time around.
So the other part of the new moon is an opposition to Neptune. So right now we have this full moon in Neptune that brings a lot of attention to your anxiety.
Mm.
And then in 2 weeks, the sun and moon together will be making an opposition to that point, that Neptune point we're at now. So oppositions are third party karmas, meaning we're not in total control of that energy. Um, Squares, like we were just talking about, is on us. We can control how stressed out we get about it. Oppositions, we are limited as to how far we can control it because there's some other karmic element, you know, that is involved. So oppositions are usually pretty stressful because we're not in total control of them. So whatever you're working on now under this full moon, um, the new moon is going to bring a third element into it. Say you went on a job interview and some of these processes have you seeing, 2, 3 more interviews. So you're in a full moon, positive interview, and in 2 weeks, you go to the next level and it brings in another element, another director or another person in the hiring process. Or you've been hired, and in the 2 weeks, you've given your 2 weeks notice, and in 2 weeks, um, you're onboarding in um, a new situation with other people. It's definitely change. It's also Pisces. Ultimately, its essence is the psychic faculty. So these are the days to really practice your intuition, trust your intuition, get in that still, calm, quiet place where you can hear your intuition. So, I guess out of all of the major aspects for the new moon, it opposing Neptune will be the so interesting. You could be seduced under that kind of energy because Neptune seduces you. It wants you to come into those deep, dark, murky waters and explore your subconscious, explore your fears. And so sometimes it takes an illusion in rose colored lenses to be lured towards something that we wouldn't normally be lured to. And a lot of times that can be the lesson in of itself is that we've been seduced, and it opens a chakra. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything other than that. And that can be the rub with the illusions of Neptune. Is there just an illusion momentarily to get you to a certain point? It's not necessarily a seduction that follows through into a long-term relationship.
Got it. And so that's the energy right now, or that's
That would be moving into this opposition to the new moon.
mm-hmm. Okay. So
Oppositions bring in other people and places.
got it. Putting in position for the next chapter. Like,
Yes.
okay. Well, I guess there's more to unfold.
I think this is the time or energy about bringing that light to our anxiety closet, right? Cleaning out our um, behavior patterns that don't serve our highest good,
Mm,
or extracting ourselves from environments that are draining. Um, this is sort of more of a clean out kind of energy. The opposition is where we've made space for something. And again, oppositions bring in a third element. Doesn't necessarily have to be a person, it could be a job, it could be um, just a new situation, um, maybe moving. A lot of times under oppositions is when we physically move where we, our household.
Mm-hmm.
It could be right now, a certain segment of people are purging and cleaning out and packing up to move. And on the
Mm-hmm.
new moon, they'll be in their new place with a new beginning. So we're more in the purging stage of the energy now, moving into the new beginning. What are we making room for in our life, right? Because every time we get rid of things, we're making space for the new thing or the evolution of the thing that we're in. Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah,
Very interesting.
it is. It is. Neptune is, well, we're Scorpios. We like that mystery, the mystique, you know, getting down to the very dark recesses of a mind to want to know what makes it tick,
Mm-hmm.
penetrating. So Neptune, it's okay that it's mysterious. It's okay that it's ethereal. Like you really can't put your arms around Neptune, you know, but it does spin some illusions. Another way this might be manifesting for some is, um, you've been in some sort of self delusion, and the new moon in the 12th house anxiety closet uh, makes you wake up and smell the coffee. That whatever you thought was something, it was an illusion. And you probably had all the signs all along that it was some kind of self delusion. And then, on a spiritual journey, what does that mean? That means that we have questioned um, ourselves, our motivations. What did that really mean to us? How do we learn from that? And all those like deep, what am I here to learn types of questions on a spiritual journey.
That sounds, I mean, that's a
Deep.
lot of self-reflecting, like really sitting down and thinking about life and
Yeah.
people, very Virgo-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Virgo and Pisces are the oppositions.
Oh, are
So,
they?
yes. So there you go. The opposite always has an element of its opposite.
That's really strange because my brother and my mother, they're like Pisces Virgo, but they get along. I mean, kind of like whatever, because I'm the girl, and I feel left out. But lately, my mother, like, she's on my YouTube, not my YouTube, but my Facebook, and she's been posting some very nice comments lately.
Nice.
Yeah, like I never in my dreams thought that she would post something so lovely. I'm like,
Nice.
I know. After
Love it. That's awesome.
60 plus years, 70 years, I don't know how old she is now. But yeah, so yeah, just
Well, I
thought,
can speak to getting older does take a lot of energy out of strongly held emotions when we're younger.
yeah, I can say that. Like she was definitely different at a young age than she is now. Like
Yeah.
now she's in her retirement years, and she's not a fighter like she normally would. She would fight me on everything. But
Sometimes I think it boils down to just, arthritis. Like, when you're dealing with your joints and bones getting older and the challenges that that brings with what we always took for granted. And then it becomes like, oh, great. I have grip in my arthritic hands today, and you're grateful for the simplest things. So whatever obsessed energy was 20 years ago about something, it's like you can't even muster the energy to think about that. It's like I'm getting dressed and I'm up and moving and viable. And my neighbor that I think so highly of he's a Virgo, and you know, he's just turned 88 and not in a very great space. He's
mhm.
really down, associated with his health challenges. And it even gets simpler at that age, So it's all those stages of the ages of our life. So, you know, there's something to be said about don't worry about what happened in the past and don't worry about what's to come, and just live in the present and make it the best that you can make it, because those are the moments that as you age and are challenged by simple things, like he has no appetite.
Oh,
It's like
well, yeah, that's a sign of
just
decline.
just the challenge of making himself eat when he really doesn't want to. He had radiation seeds planted in his liver in June for two tumors, and the scan showed the other day the tumors are gone. And I'm like, gosh, that's a miracle. I mean, you should be so happy, and he's just still really cranky. I can't eat. I don't want anything, and he stays on the phone all day with different doctors' offices complaining about, I don't have any energy, I don't feel like eating. And one of the doctors told the nurse, well, he is 88 years old, but in his mind, he just wants to be fixed. He wants to feel like he's always felt. And so I've known them all my life, really. I think I've known them since I was like 10.
Oh
And
wow.
so I reflect on how they've aged, and it really humbles you about growing up and getting older. It's like so many people. You see where Jimmy Buffett died? He was 76.
Yeah,
So,
was that recent?
yeah, like day before yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But I guess my point is, it's like, a lot of people die a lot sooner, and there's millions of people that die young, but you can't convince him, he's very Virgo, that he's just got to stop worrying about it and try to live.
Mhm.
He spends day in and day out worrying about how bad he feels.
Mhm.
And every once in a while I see a glimpse of his old self, but his wife was telling me recently that, he's very gloomy, very down, you know. And of course, I get on him about, you got to, stay hydrated. You got to make yourself eat, whether you feel like it or not, because when you don't eat and you don't drink, you're just asking for more problems.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we all have to embrace where we are, and believe that things are as they should be. They always change, they're always evolving. And for us to be more tuned into our intuition in order to manifest the life we want, the scenario we want.
Well, with that being said, today was that guy that passed away. It was his birthday today, and he's young. He's like 30. He would have been 39,
Mm,
so he died at 38. But at the same token, I saw my past history, and this thing popped up, and I would like to read it to the collective here. Um, it says, I want to share with you a feeling I have. I feel that my love does not have to remain within the limitations of my own life or body. I imagine that if I am no longer in the world, my love could still be present. I want to place my love on the moon and let the moon hold my love. Let the moon be the keeper of my love, offering it to everyone just as the moon sends it to light its embrace to the whole earth.
that's beautiful.
That was created by the Karmapa.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I thought it was so beautiful. I was like, wow. I wanted to post it, but then it's like, oh shit. Because he was deceased and it would have been fitting because he's no longer with us.
Right.
But then I know that it might like trigger some feelings amongst family members and stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'll just keep it to myself.
That
But I,
was nice for you to read it.
yeah, so I did post on my Instagram and I shared it over there. But yeah, so I thought that was really nice. I forgot I had that.
I think that's a perfect way for us to end our evening.
Yeah, this sounds
Yeah.
cool, especially with that big blue moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right. Well, we finally did get it together. It took us a few days, but we've made it and completed it and hopefully offered some good information for folks.
yeah, and finally my tongue has stopped numbing. Or
Oh, good.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. Maybe It's the Virgo in me, like over analyzing like this pain.
Maybe you did burn your mouth some or your throat some with your tea.
I can tolerate hot foods. Maybe I'm not as resilient as I used to be. I'm getting old.
Well, no, I think you're tired. No,
I'm tired and I
you've
can't
been
handle it
working
no
a
more.
lot of hours,
Yeah,
and hopefully you can spend the rest of the weekend getting some rest.
yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna rest tonight and be up and at it tomorrow again.
That sounds like a plan. And
Hmm.
we'll reconvene in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So you said it was the 14th.
Yeah, the 15th is a Friday night.
Okay, so you
We
want to
like our Friday nights, don't we?
normally we do it on the Friday night.
We tried to do it Friday night, but it just wasn't working.
Yeah, was it? Well, that was the first, and
And
things.
then you had mentioned last night, and I had originally was supposed to meet up with someone to go hear this really great dance band, and then
Mhm.
she canceled, and I didn't feel motivated to go by myself. So then I ended up being free last night, but I didn't reach out to you because I thought I'm just gonna keep doing what I was doing, which has been cleaning.
No, you know what? I was the exact same thing. Actually, no, I worked last night. What was I thinking? I forgot.
Yeah.
I was working.
Well, I
But
knew
it
you had a
worked
lot
out.
of work to get done over the weekend, so I just thought we'd leave it for tonight. And this, worked right on time. And I want to thank Shabaka and JK and Mimi, all of you, for hanging in there and spending some time with us this evening and being patient with our delays.
Yes, thank you all for joining us with the live, and also, we're so thankful to have dedicated subscribers who is in on this, real time. So thank you for being here with us. And yeah, if you guys are interested in booking a reading with Sunny, you can go to linemountainhealing.com and also visit her Etsy. I believe like there's like a big sale on Etsy up to 50% off. So I'm not sure if you're participating in that. But yeah, for me I'm doing 25%, but you have to pay like $35 for a product or something, and then you'll get the 25%.
I
Um,
need, I have a whole ton of stuff to upload. I, I have been getting gems tested and metals tested, so I knew what I had and
oh,
doing that. Yeah. And,
how did you got a person that does it?
well, where I worked had all of that kind of stuff in the jewelry where I worked.
Oh,
And when I
now you
knew,
don't have
I
access.
know now that I have parted ways, I actually ordered my own. It should be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so now you know what to get. Oh, okay, well
I
let me
have
know.
the what you do for testing gold and silver, but the gem tester I had or have is just kind of, I don't know how reliable it is. So I went ahead and bought the real McCoy. I've been wanting one a long time, and
Well, you're dealing with a lot of that anyways.
yeah, I am. So I I need to work on my Etsy shop. Is the moral to that story?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
when you have time is the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
All right then. Well, I'm gonna go let my puppy dogs stretch their legs, and um, you get some time with Luna and get some rest, and I'll
hmm.
have some more information on the new moon here shortly.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming in on this live delayed, and thank you for being patient with me because I'm the reason, guys,
It's all good.
that we're late. So,
We're
just
right on time.
okay,
We're
right on
right
time.
on time. Yeah, it just wasn't a good time before, so this worked out perfect, and we'll shoot for the 15th for our Virgo new moon, and
Hmm.
I'll talk to you before then, and I'll work on your chart.
And I'll work on yours too, your reading.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Okay. See
All
you
right.
later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.